So since the last episode, as questionable as it may sound, we've been scouring the globe, poaching children for our youth team. It's actually been going quite well, and we'll get you all caught up with all of our new youth signings, and then we'll be jumping into a top-of-the-table clash up against 5th place Barnsley, and we'll cover the title when we get to that relevant part of the episode. But yeah, let's just get into it. So the transfer window has been pretty kind to us. It has just closed in between the last episode and this. We have had a few new arrivals. I'm just going to go over all of them now. We might have touched on a couple of these in the last episode as potential signings, but just going to go over it for certain. The Arsenal game was on the 14th of January, so we'll start from there because I don't think we did anything like that. Washington Chavez is a goalkeeper that's coming in. He's 18-year-old Ecuadorian. He got recommended to us, potentially championship standard. He's definitely not good enough for the first team as it stands. But speaking of goalkeepers, Chavez might not be good enough for the first team, who we've actually loaned him back to the club he came from, for the record. But Milan Bercek is coming in from that club in the Serbian league. He is coming in as our backup goalkeeper. He's miles better than Jardine was, if we just compare the two. I'd definitely choose Bercek in goal over Jardine here. And if we want Jardine to be able to develop, he needs to get plenty of game time, so he's dropped down to the under-21s and should be playing relatively often there. But either way, Bercek on loan. He's not going to be taking over Onbang's spot. Onbang is definitely a better goalkeeper than him. But obviously with all the injury problems Onbang's had this season, it just made sense to get a slightly more solid backup goalkeeper in. And we had the option to sign Bercek on loan, no payment for it. And I was trying to find a decent goalkeeper with high potential that would be able to step in as of the first team or was close to Onbang at the very least. And there was absolutely nobody that wasn't going to completely break our bank. But Bercek was available. There's no monthly fee, there's no wages being paid. So we've got him on basically a 5-6 month deal. And I do think he is a very good backup option for us. Alongside that, we've had Bokar Bakayoko join. He's joined without a work permit, so we've had to send him off out to SV Wiesbaden in the third league in Germany. He is a pretty good, probably in Gonch looking forward. He's got a lot of the stats you'd want. He just needs a little bit more experience and a little bit more development time. He's actually played first team games for the Malian team already. That's how I spotted him. Doing the old classic, has had at least one international appearance search. But yeah, he's got potentially championship standard. He looks like he could be a very good signing for us. And we've signed him for free on very low wages. I mean, £450 a week isn't nothing, but considering our wage budget, I mean, we're nowhere near hitting our wage cap. We'll go over that in a sec. After those, we signed Justin, I'm going to say Nance Kivel, Irish 18-year-old, probably going to be playing either in Gonch or as an advanced forward. He looks like he could be a very good advanced forward in my eyes. Obviously, his finishing, first touch, anticipation, decisions and work rate needs to go up a little bit, but he's got very good physicals, pretty good mentals considering he's only 18 years old, and he hasn't got a whole lot of extra potential, but I do think he's going to be a good option for us at the very least, and we signed him for 50k. We should be able to turn a pretty good profit on him, and the same goes for Mohamed Fatih, who is coming back as a left back, maybe as a centre back. We'll have to see how he starts to develop and where he fits in more often. We've signed him from Tian Athletic Sport in Morocco. He's gone back to there for the rest of the season, but 65k was pretty much nothing again. He's making plenty of appearances there, and they're all very good performances, so I can't really complain about that regular football he's getting. And then last up, we've got Papa Alioune Fame. He's managed to get one cap for the full team in Senegal. He's actually looking like he could be a very good striker going forward. I mean, obviously, again, dribbling, strength, some of these could do some work. His physicals aren't fantastic, but 15 finishing, 15 first touch is pretty good across the board. Technique, passing, vision, flair, a lot of things you'd like. So hopefully we can round out those gaps in his game. And he's got potentially Premier League standard potential. So could be an absolute wonder signing for us in the long term. Signing from Generation Foot in Senegal. He doesn't actually have a work permit, but we're going to hope to either loan him out or just let him develop in our under-18s a bit, getting plenty of game time down there. So yeah, you can see over here, a lot of those players have gone back out. Asher Agbenone has gone on loan to Wickham. Giabi's gone to Bristol. I don't know if we covered that in the last episode. All of our transfer activity out has pretty much been either players that aren't playing and their contracts are expiring at the end of the season, going out on loan for the rest of it, other than Sam Batty, who's actually left for Bristol Rovers, as we said, or non-work permit players just going out to get a bit of game time under their belt and maybe see what they can do development-wise. The only thing, Lennon Wilder's definitely going to Newport. I don't know if we confirmed that in the last episode. We've got Mortal, who we definitely mentioned at least, who's going to be joining at the end of the season. And Patrick Kluivert's coming in as a scout, which doesn't really affect the videos at any point, but it's just a cool thing to point out. Whenever you get a big name joining your staff, it's quite exciting. So yeah, since you were last here, we have played quite a few games. Obviously, we had the 2-0 loss to Arsenal. And since then, we bounced back pretty nicely, other than one little hiccup against Bolton. There's actually not all that much to say about a lot of these games. A lot of them were just very comfortable wins. We did play Bursak in goal here against Salford, and a very rotated squad, realistically. You can always tell how rotated we are. You know, when we've got Linwood and Millington both starting at the same time, you know that's definitely not a first team squad there. Rig even got a game in behind the front line. But yeah, it was a comfortable 2-0 victory. Not a whole lot to say. Salford didn't really show up. Then we had a 5-1 victory over Wimbledon. This one was a bit more of a first-team squad. Obviously, once you've rested all the players, they've got plenty of energy to come back out. We scored early on, they got one back, and then it was just all us for the rest of the game, realistically. The XG isn't showing up, but their goal contributed to a lot of their XG. They basically did not much else for the rest of the match. We faced Bolton in the Papa John's Trophy quarter-finals. Again, a very good first-team squad here. Bellingham got his first goal for the club, a penalty, which I was really hoping would set him off, on a mad scoring spree. Hasn't really been the case, but he is still struggling to settle in, I think, a little bit. He's not really settled into our dynamics page. It says like social groups. He's definitely an outcast in that a little bit still. So you've got to wait until that all settles in, which can be hard for someone in the middle of the season, but he should be one of our star midfielders for next season as well, realistically. But yeah, this was just a very comfortable win. I expected Bolton to give us a bit more trouble than they did. We had a 2-1 victory over Coventry. This one was a little bit scarier, I believe. Yeah, we scored a penalty, they scored a penalty. But this was a very even game going back and forth. And if it wasn't for a rare Millington goal in the 63rd minute, it was very unlikely we were going to actually pull anything out the bag here. Bursak even got subbed on for Ombang. I think Ombang picked up, I don't want to say a proper injury, but I think he stubbed his finger or something in this game, I want to say. I don't think he was out for long, though. Bursak did play in the next game as well, though. It has been a couple of days since I played these games, so struggling a little bit. But yeah, Bolton got their own back for that cup loss. They managed to beat us 2-1 in the league. This was a very even game still, I thought. Looking at the XG, we had the better of it as well, even though we had less shots on target than they did. They were just realistically a lot more decisive than we were. Yeah, Ombang was on the bench. Kind of proves that he wasn't seriously injured at the very least. We had a 1-0 victory over Peterborough after that. Again, pretty straightforward. A Chima Aliu goal in the 67th minute settled it. As you could see from the XG table, which has shown up for this game, which doesn't make sense. They did almost nothing the entire game. They had a 0.17 XG up until probably like the 80th minute. And then I think they had one shot on target that, was not terrible. But yeah, Bursak and our defence all putting in a very good shift here. Our left side sort of did struggle with theirs, but the Peterborough team wasn't doing a whole lot realistically. And that brings us to the Southend game, which I am going to show you some of. But I definitely had a bit of a blonde moment here. I was watching some stuff on YouTube and, you're just moving players around and you move them around, you click continue, you start the match, you ignore whatever pops up on the front of the screen. And then 20 minutes into the game, I get a pop-up saying Daryl Ombang's being played out of position. Can you imagine how infuriating it would be? You're competing for a title at the top of the table. You come up against probably your closest rivals, and they play a goalkeeper at left-back for the first 20 minutes against you. And not only do they play a goalkeeper at left-back for 20 minutes against you, he comes away with a 6.7 rating, which if you look at the Southend team, would have been man of the match for their side. The only person who could even match that was Duke McKenna on the right with a 6.7 rating. I suppose some of their subs did okay. But Darrell Ombang played better at left-back than any of their players did in this match, which was kind of ridiculous. I will say, we took him off after 20 minutes, and that's when Kevin O'Neill actually scored the first goal. So maybe he was the one holding us back. But this game really did make me laugh for that reason. So in the 21st minute, this game, Munro got a nice ball over to Casanova. His shot got saved, I think. Oh no, he got tackled and it came to O'Neill, who slotted it in the bottom corner. Then, Ombang's replacement, Nathan Hughes, stamped his authority on the match pretty early. Nice little cross inside here. Keeper missed it completely and O'Neill puts it into the open net. I don't have game sounds on. This is very odd. Then in the 65th minute, Aliu and Munro coming on the left here, gets the ball inside and just smashes it into the bottom right. Unstoppable there for the goalkeeper. Then a nice disposition by Casanova, comes forward to Munro, and this time he gets a nice ball in for O'Neill to slot in at the near post. And then Nathan Hughes with a nice little cross in again, and I think it comes back out to him, yep, proving that he can do what Ombang can't. Lovely pass inside, and Munro slotted it in at the near post again. Kinnear in goal was unfortunately the third best goalkeeper on the pitch this day. And then after that, a nice little 4-0 victory over the rivals that we used to panic so much about meeting. It's always nice looking at previous meetings and seeing they troubled us for so long and they will trouble us no further. It's weird that I've built this up in my head as like these are my main rivals and I hate them so much, when realistically they just beat us twice in the league and knocked us out of cup. They knocked us out of cup when they were by far the better team than us. So it's a little bit of an odd rivalry, but I will take it nonetheless. Lovely 4-0 victory here. It was very late on. Not much happened at the start of the game, and then we just ran away with it late on. Goals from Canamarchi in the 75th, Barbrook in the 78th, and Barbrook again in the 91st. And a relatively rotated side here, well, at least a rotated midfield, managed to snatch all 3 points. You know a team hasn't played well when Daniel Rigg comes on this season and actually comes away with a very good rating. That has not happened very often. But either way, that brings us to today's game. We're going to be going up against Barnsley. Barnsley are currently in 5th, but they have been up as high as 2nd, I think, in the last few games, because I will say Southend have absolutely dropped the ball in the last month or two. They were competing with us so tightly at the top, and they just cannot do anything correct. It feels like since that, like, look at their form up here. All of this, and then they lost to Wigan in the Cup and then Gillingham in the Papa John's Trophy, almost back-to-back with a draw in between. And since then, after bouncing back for 2 quick wins, that was pretty much all they've had to show for them. They've massively fallen off the pace. And if we look at the table, they're down 21 points behind us now at this point, considering it was basically one-on-one at the top of the league for so much of this. It's a little bit ridiculous. We've got 2 games in hand on them, 1 game in hand on both Bolton and Oxford. It's looking like with a 14-point lead, which let's say is basically a 17-point lead. We're going to assume that we're going to win that match. It's looking like that we are going to be pretty unstoppable this season, which is, again, one of the reasons why when we've been looking at transfers, I've mostly been looking at youth players that we can sign, because I don't want to try and improve our first team this season, because obviously if we get promoted, when we get promoted, absolute worst case scenario, we won't win the league. That would be a terrible performance for the rest of the season, but we should definitely finish in the top 2 regardless. But yeah, once we get promoted, we should be able to sign, obviously, a much higher quality of player. So it makes more sense to make those improvements then. And we are going to be losing a few of our, relatively key players. If we look at our expiration dates, not many are going. It's all of our loans. But Kevin O'Neill, Shamar Casanova, Galbraith have all been, and Griffiths have all been very important this season. Stephen O'Connor as well, realistically. If we look at selection info, they've all played a good amount of time, apart from Bursak, obviously, but he's only just got here. But even that, he's played 6 appearances in a month or so. So yeah, Kevin O'Neill, I'm very scared to see how we perform without him. But he's going to be going back off to Leeds. Looking at him, I feel like we got absolutely robbed with that 2.3 million. But at the same time, it really has set us up to be able to improve the rest of our team by such a huge amount. I am going to keep looking to extend his loan if possible. He keeps saying he wants to be tested in a different environment. Let's just pop that in, just on the off chance that it gets accepted, because I'd definitely like to keep him around for next season if possible. And, he has been one of our most consistent players. But we have had some very good strikers this season. If we're looking at top scorers, yes, he scored the most. He has been our best player. But 19 for Barbrook in 19 starts and 12 sub-appearances. Dylan Munro's made 12 starts and 15 sub-appearances, 14 goals. Even Atchinger, who's been mostly playing midfielder, attacking midfielder, has scored 10 in 26 with 5 sub-appearances. We're very good going forward. I feel like Canamarchi's been a massive disappointment since he joined, and even he's scored 6 goals in 11 appearances. Not a massive, I suppose massive disappointment might be a bit too much. He's not been the Canamarchi he was last season, but it would be very hard to, be as dominant as he was last season, realistically. But it has been a fantastic sub we can bring on. He's played very well when we've subbed him in. He's not been very good when we've started up with him up front. So he's probably not going to be first team, but he will be in and around the bench next season regardless. So yeah, I think with that, we're just going to go ahead to the Barnsley game. So I think this is how we're going to be lining up. We've got Bursak in goal, Wilson, Wintersgill, Connor and Bailey across the back. We have had to rest a couple of defenders that I wouldn't have ideally liked to rest for such a big game, but we are really struggling for fitness. Foyo as the ball with a midfielder with Boyang and Bellingham as our Mazzalas. Achinga as an Nganch, and then O'Neill and Ombang up front. No, that is just a joke. I am going to put Barbrook in instead of Ombang. Oh, now I need to reorder my subs bench. This is why I don't do this very often. This is why I don't make jokes. But yeah, we have got a lot of very heavy workloads on, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But we have got cover for basically every position on the bench, so I think we're going to be okay. And other than, I think, Burton in about a month's time, We don't have any other top half teams that we're going to be playing soon, so we're going to have plenty of opportunity to rest players. Casanova is upset about being left out. I mean, he's got half a heart of fitness on the thing, so I don't know why he's even why he even thinks he's got a chance of playing. We're on a good run, so let's keep that going. Let's make sure the defenders are also on board, and let's pump up the two midfielders that weren't. And we'll get straight into the game. Barnsley are lining up in a classic 4-4-2. And we're in our standard 4-3-1-2, as always. I am panicking looking at that like, I didn't actually just leave Onbang in the squad, did I, and forget about it. I really should be playing Onbang in goal. I shouldn't have put him up front for a joke, because now that might have screwed me. But Bursak has been playing very well, and he's not that much worse than Onbang, so I think it's completely fine. We're starting off in the 9th minute with a Wilson throw-in. Let's get a cross in. He gets it to Bellingham. Bellingham gets it back to Boyang. Could he have a shot here? He does. Oh, and he cannons off the post. It only gets cleared away by Barnsley as far as Wilson, but the highlight ends there, so I assume he did nothing useful with it. 16th minute now, and Bailey looks to try and get it up to Atchinger, but the ball gets cut out. He gets it to Barnsley, get it to Kemp. He keeps the ball very well, gets it out to Kitching. Now we've got Kelly coming down the left. He could be getting a shot off here. He does, and he scores. That's quite annoying. Bailey didn't really cover himself in glory there. This did seem a little bit too easy for them. What exactly happened when the ball gets passed forward there? Yeah, he just gets the better of Bailey, and at that point there's no stopping him. Bailey could have maybe stuck a foot in there, but I feel like he would have given away a penalty. In the 24th minute now, and Kitching has got another throw in for Barnsley. Kelly gets it into the middle again. Wilson gets it away. And managed to stop the ball from going out. Is he going to pass this up to Foyo? Oh, that's Boyang. Foyo's one inside. I thought, that guy's small. That must be Boyang. Nope, that must be Foyo. No, Foyo is the 3-pixel player running up the middle at the moment. But Boyang is bursting into the box here. He's going to get a cross in. No, he doesn't. He tries to get it back to Wilson. I thought we were losing the ball there. It comes back to Boyang again. And he chips it into Jensen's hands. That was a bit of a messy play, but it almost worked out. If we'd put a bit of power on the shot, maybe. Long ball up. Oh, no, and it gets behind Winterskill, and Kemp is left one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And he rockets it in. Genius by Kemp. What an incredible piece of play. It was literally the defender missed a header. I don't know what the match engine's trying to big him up for there. Long ball over here. Winterskill just misses it completely. We don't need to see the rest of that. Okay, let's drop a quick demand more. Okay, the players have reacted well at least. We've got a Bellingham corner though. Going towards the back post, they kind of can't quite get his head on it. It gets headed away, but O'Neill collects it. Comes into Winterskill. Foyo, it comes forward to Bellingham. No, we're going to have to go forward at some point. I'm still clicked on Bailey for no reason. Bailey, nice pass into Bellingham there, but the two of them can't really work it forward anywhere. We are slowly just working backwards, but a nice ball over to Barbrook. I thought he was going to rock it across, but no, it comes to Atchinger, and he gets fouled. No, O'Neill. Oh, and O'Neill hits the post. I thought that was going to be a penalty, and then suddenly we were hitting the post. We've got some very good performances. You know, Foyo and Barbrook, considering we're 2-0 down, have both got 7.0 ratings. And Boyang. We're just not creating. We're not finishing any chances off. We're creating a lot. Tries to get it into Barbrook, but we don't. But Bailey does win the second ball. Oh, that's a penalty, though. Was that Bellingham won that? Yeah, that was... Powell just took him out from behind. I was looking forward to Bailey's cross, but we'll never get to see it. Bellingham steps up. Is he going to manage to score this? Oh, my God, he hits the post, but it comes back to Bellingham. He hit the post and it bounced back off the keeper. Bailey gets tackled. He's really not having a good game, this Bailey, I don't think. This Bailey, like I don't know who he is. All of the Barnsley team are in a horrible mood. And yet we just cannot break them down. Well, we're breaking them down plenty. We're just not actually doing anything useful with that. It looks like we're going to be going into half-time 2-0 down. Do you remember earlier in the video when I said we should easily win this league? Yeah, the scoreline doesn't reflect the game. Just keep having chances, basically. It will work out in the end. What did he do? Kevin O'Neill is not playing well. Bellingham's not playing well, but I don't know how much of that's down to the penalty miss his rating, really. This might be controversial. I am not going to change much at the moment. I think we're good. I'm going to switch to long goal kicks, which I like to do when we're chasing a game, but I don't you know, I don't see as much of a benefit of it as we did back in the lower leagues when you could just, every goal kick could go straight over the back line. But now we've got a 48th minute Barnsley free kick just outside the area. It's a dangerous spot. Who's stepping up for this? Scott, who's injured. Hopefully he falls over and fully injures himself before he scores this. Oh, he does as well. Oh God. I hope you fall over and impale yourself. No, let's not be nasty. That was a very nice free kick, though. It doesn't help that we have Foyo in the wall. The ball could bobble over him a lot of the time. Demand more. Come on. I need to see more from this team. Everyone's excited, but I'm not seeing anything change. I mean, look at the match momentum there. Let me just cancel this. It's all us. And the only 3 times it's been in their favour is the 3 times they've scored. And even that one barely even fucking counts. Something needs to change here. Kevin O'Neill is not doing much. We're going to bring Munro on for him. I've just been talking for ages about how he's a brilliant player. I'm going to bring Griffiths on, but I'm going to put Wintersgill out on the wing because he does tend to play very well out there. I'm going to bring on... I'm going to take Bellingham off. He's on a yellow and he's on a 6.1. He's not had a good game. The problem is we haven't got any particularly good sort of Mazzalas on the pitch. I think Galbraith can play Mazzala pretty well. His passing isn't really good enough, but I'm going to put him as a Mazzala on attack to try and counter that maybe. Yes, I think we'll try this. I don't know if it's going to work particularly. We've essentially got another striker playing in midfield, so we'll see how it looks. Apart from that, there's a couple of 6.5s, but I don't think that warrants a substitution just yet. We're going to start going a little bit more direct and much higher tempo, try and get something from the game, you know, as quick as possible, which does also mean work the ball into the box is disappearing. We want to get forward as quickly as possible. There is nothing happening. Demand more, okay. Everyone's loving it when that I want more from them. They're just not actually doing the more thing that I'm asking for. But here you go, Munro's getting it up to Barbrook, who's got his pace. He's smacking it into Galbraith. I completely lost the track of the ball there. I think I thought the penalty spot was the ball. That was confusing. Comes to Barbrook. No. Kitchen collects it, and Diallo is coming down the left wing. Get it inside Griffiths. Gets it to Wilson. We're going to come down our own left wing. No, inside to Achinga. Lovely ball over to Munro. He's one-on-one. It's got to be. And it gets saved. It's straight at Jensen in goal. Our finishing has just not been there today. This is a very frustrating match. Got Wilson to Boyang. Wilson going to look to put a cross in. He does towards Galbraith at the back, but we can't get onto it. Winterskill puts it in again to Munro this time. And it falls to Achinga, who manages to score 3-1, 70th minute. Chelmsford Town are back in with a shot. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm not even going to watch the replay because I don't want the players to have to wait. I want to keep the momentum. That's not how the game works. We're going to go with... we do need to make a couple more changes, I think. The last few days we've been playing Football Manager. The positions have all been wrong when I've been coming onto here. Stephen O'Connor can come off for Chima Aliu. I'll swap those two over as well because Griffiths could also play right back, Aliu could play left back, so I feel like that makes sense. Boyang's struggling a bit. I'm actually going to bring Linwood on for him, who's not the fantastic Mazzala, but I think it might be a good shout. And I mean, that's 5 substitutions. There's not a whole lot else I can do here. I am going to switch actually to attacking, because a 4-1 loss where we're going for it, I feel like is better than us not at least trying to get back into the game. You know, if we do happen to concede one, it's not the end of the world. Statistics indicate we're to control the match, passing well and getting our shots on target, and yet we're 3-1 down with a 2.6 XG compared to their 0.85, and they've scored 3 goals. Why does this keep happening? What even can we change here? Focus through the middle. Don't distribute over. Distribute to fullbacks. Let's try that. Press them more often. Really shut them down. The clock's ticking away. I feel like we've been FM'd here. It didn't feel as bad until I looked at the XG stat. Yeah, there's just like, oh, let's go very attacking. Let's go extremely direct. Let's just shoot on sight. Can we do anything in the last 2 minutes? It's just one of those games where the game just hates you. Yeah. Look at this. It just doesn't make any sense at all. That is such a bullshit game. We should have won the match. Trust the process. Like, I can't really fault anyone apart from we didn't put some of those chances we should have away. Barnsley will be delighted with that. That was our game in hand, so maybe we shouldn't trust that we're going to win that. So we're only 14 points ahead, not 17. We've got Barbrook's agent coming in and complaining. Charlton did actually come in for him, but it was like they offered like 100,000, and no, Barbrook is 19. He's got good potential, hasn't he? Yeah. I mean, could improve significantly from being a good championship player, and they're going to offer us 100,000 for him. Not a chance. I will quite happily pay him a little bit more. We'll see how that looks. Just give me a second to look through the others. I'm tempted to just say like sack your agent, but no, we'll play fair here. Important player. We're playing him in his preferred role. This is all fine. You're not quite getting 1.1k. We'll put you on. We'll try and put you at 750. I'll give you a 15k signing bonus. Yeah, okay, he's accepted that. I had to go from 750 up to 850 and get rid of the contract extension. But I think 3 years' time, hopefully we'll at least be like top end of the championship. At the very least, maybe even Premier League. So it shouldn't be hard to get him to sign another contract at that point. So anyway, that game really didn't go as expected. I'm going to go forward a bit, but I do think at this point, we have got a Bradford game. That's the one I should have mentioned, not the Burton game. That one's on their 8th, Burton a 6th. We're playing them in a few weeks' time. Crawley, we've got Peterborough in the semi-final of the Papa John's, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I might come back for the Birmingham game, but realistically I might just come back for whichever game I think we're going to secure promotion in, because we have got 10 more games. There's 30 points on offer and we're 14 points clear. Obviously, that ticks down very quickly. So we will either be back for a potential promotion game or for a Papa John's Trophy final. One of the two, whichever. I think the Papa John's Trophy final will be at the end of the season, so I don't think it will be that one, but we'll see. Whenever we're going to get promoted, we'll come back for that and hopefully have a little party. So yeah, sorry for the awful performance, or at least the awful finishing today, but I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, then please leave a like or comment down below. It really does help out a great deal, and it means a hell of a lot to me as well. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on either a promotion party or the biggest choke the League One has ever seen. And once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.